Right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this morning for the 8x8 ICA webinar. Really excited because AI is the hot topic that's being discussed in so many of the contact center expos and so many customer-facing meetings that we're having. So yeah, really excited to hear from Steve today, who's going to tell us more about the 8x8 ICA product. Conversations that we're having are how can ICA help businesses before the call is handed over to an agent? How can AI help to actually self-manage interactions so there's no need to involve an agent? How can AI help help agents whilst they're actually in the middle of a call? So how can it guide them and give them advice and share knowledge with them? And again, after the call, how is AI being used after the call for post-call analytics, assessments, and just bringing that business information through to the team leaders and managers within organizations? So yeah, really excited to hear more about how AI is being used in the ICA product. So I'm going to hand you over to Steve. And if anyone has any questions, please do ask. This is an interactive session, and Steve and I will be more than happy to help you. So over to you, Steve.
Absolutely. So, good morning, gentlemen. Just as a way of introduction, I'm Steve Edmonds. I head up a team of pre-sales engineers here at 8x8. Members of my team support public sector UK, but members of my team also support existing customers in what we call client sales. And also members of my team support efforts in our commercial SMB sector as well. So I'm very proud to head up that team, and you may well know some of them. So today we're going to, as Mark has told us, we're going to talk about ICA, and to give it its full title, that's Intelligent Customer Assistant. Okay. And that is based on Cognigy AI. So, we OEM that solution as ICA. But one of the critical things is that we've built some really good integrations into the rest of the 8x8 contact center platform, really making things like handover from bot to agent seamless. I've got one slide to show you before I go into some demo, folks. So I'm just going to share my desktop and I'm going to present this slide. Let me just minimize that and go into slideshow. Okay. So I thought it'd just be good to talk about where we are and kind of what ICA does. So, we all know things around auto attendant and touch tone IVR, which was predominant not so long ago, really. And then moving that forward into more advanced IVR. So this is where we were able to do things around some level of speech recognition. I don't know whether the guys are familiar with a company called Nuance. Back in the day, they did a whole load of stuff. When I used to work for Avaya many moons ago, all our stuff was based around Nuance and using them in our IVR products. Live web chat is very much still a thing, and that's great. So that you can have prompt responses to agent inquiries based on for going onto your website. But the two elements at the top here, conversational AI and agentic AI, are really where ICA come into play. And I just wanted to kind of give you a background into what those two components mean. So if you think about conversational AI, it's very much intent driven. And what I mean by that is that when you build out your bot, you need to be able to almost anticipate what your customers are going to be wanting to talk about in a bot conversation. So the demos I'm going to do for you shortly are going to be predominantly public sector based. So you've got to think around the use cases for that and building the keywords and phrases that the bot needs to recognize. So, for example, bin collection, boiler repair, radiator leakage, etc. So you need to build out that kind of lexicon of intent words And although the bot will do machine learning and provide you insights to improve those intents as time goes on, you do need to build that in and make sure that you are covering the bases, as it were. Okay. Agentic AI is much more based around the knowledge base and giving the bot a persona. So the way that I think the critical difference between the two is that when you implement an agentic AI bot, it's very much like hiring a new starter in your contact center. That new starter will have a name, it will have a personality, but you've got to feed it with the knowledge, but also give it the guardrails as to what it should or should not be doing. But the beauty of that is that agentic AI bots can be purpose led. For example, you may have a reception bot that could then hand over to a customer service bot, which could then hand over to someone in support, an agentic support bot, and they could all kind of flow together. So giving the agentic bot a personality, a job role, a specification, it's almost like if you use ChatGPT, it's almost like giving it context, a role, an intent, and a task effectively. Okay. Now the two can mix and match, and the two can, I'm not saying that conversational AI is something you shouldn't think about, because it can be, if intent driven gets you to the right spot easily, it's a lot more easy to train going forward. And when I talk to my professional services folks, they would say when they implement a conversational AI bot, it's 80% kind of design and training, and then sort of like 20% test, where it totally flips with agentic AI. They can be really easy to set up, but then the testing takes them up a lot longer. So it's more like 20% sort of development and deployment, and then the rest of the time takes in terms of testing that to make sure the bot's doing what you want it to do. So what I'll do is I'll just very quickly stop sharing there, just to see if you have any questions just around that brief introduction.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get my head around. So there's two options. Are you saying there's a conversational AI and there's the agentic AI? Or
essentially, Dan, yeah. So within one solution, within ICA itself, you can go down either route or both. Okay, and it just may be the use case suits one more than the other. Okay, if you wanted something that was very, very much conversational, as if you were talking to a real person, then agentic may be the way to go. If you want to do something that's very much structured and you can take your customers down a defined path, then the conversational intent-driven AI bot may be the option for you. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, absolutely, yeah. That's fine, thanks.
Excellent. Okay. So let me just kill that slideshow. And what I'm going to do now, folks, is I'm going to give you 3 examples. And the first 2 examples will be intent-based or conversational AI, and the third one's going to be more agentic. Okay. And just to kind of, I'll just go back into share mode. So just to show you what I'm going to show you here. So I've rigged up a digital bot, a mock-up of a web bot. Okay. But that could be across lots of different digital media. So that could be SMS-based bot. It could be WhatsApp. It could be this could go onto an app that runs on your smartphones or your customer smartphones, for example. So it's not just a web-based application it could be across any digital media. Okay. The other thing I'm going to show you here is, obviously I want to be able to transfer or hand over at some point to an agent. So I've got an agent logged in here, and I'm going to make that person ready to work now. So they're available to handle this inquiry. Okay. So as I mentioned, I do a lot of work in public sector. I'm going to show you, firstly, a really easy one to do. So I'm going to go into my council demo here. Okay. And you can see I just did a demo for this council here. I'm going to talk about bin collections. So this is very much conversational. But you can see here, you can develop these smart, what we call smart cards. So you can design the iconography of that. You can give the bot a name here. You can design, you give it the look and feel of how you want that bot to behave. So I'm going to go for bin collections at first. Okay, so it's going to ask me my name. So I'm just going to quickly type that in. Okay, and I'm going to say I want to know the collection dates for my address. Okay, and I'm going to say for my black bin. So all of this has been programmed in, low code, no code components. Now, the first bit of integration we've done here is into a address lookup system. So I think, Tom, you were saying, you know, what kind of systems do we need to feed the bot? Obviously, what I'm doing here is that the bot is now going to go away and look into an address lookup database to find to look at my postcode, okay, which is done there. And here we go. I live at 80 Oakwood Park in Liverpool, and submit, okay. And then it comes back with my next set of bin collection dates. So the two pieces of integration that the bot has done there is into an address lookup database, and then it's gone into my council's bin collection database to find the collection dates that are applicable to my address. Okay. So I'm going to say, okay, I want to do another bin inquiry. And in this case, I'm going to say I'm going to report a missed bin. Okay. And this says I'm going to say I didn't put up my green bin this week. It's remembered my address previously, so I'd have to re-enter that. So the bot's doing that that memory lookup to, because it's within the same conversation. And there we go. So it's saying we've missed your bin, place it's logged, etc. Okay. And to say, you know, put my bin out, it's going to be collected within 2 days. Okay. So again, we've done an integration there into this kind of council's bin lookup database. Now, as you can see here, as we mentioned in our little chat beforehand around doing things around survey, ICA can also do things on sending SMS outbound. So if I wanted to, I could get that job reference text to me. So again, I'm just going to pop my phone number in there, 07359831167. And I'm going to say yes. You'll notice that actually it says, have I heard you say that? This is because the same bot or the same flow can be both a digital bot here, but the same flow could be used exactly for a voice bot. Okay, so I'm going to get that text message through in a minute. And what I'm going to say now, I'm going to want to speak to an agent. So this will then transfer me over to the agent who was logged in. So I'm going to say speak to an agent. It might do some ID and V. So again, this is going to be all automated, so that your agents don't have to go through this process. Okay, give me a minute. My email address. Again, this helps maybe if you've got some CRM integration and you want to do a screen pop to the agent based on the conversation. And hopefully now, there we go, I've got that chat come through. It's the bin collections queue. I can accept that chat. And you'll see here that the agent has got all of the context of what's been said before by the agent. So they can see the person's council reference number. They've got their email. Over here, it's popped my email address and any other information about that person, okay? And they can see previous history within here. So when, you know, I wanted to have a chat log there, I booked a test drive, I did something around sales there as well, okay? So now this agent can go into a chat. So, hi, Steve, do you have a further query about your bins? Okay. And if I pop back to the bot, you'll see that should come through to the bot any second now to see that. Oh, I didn't send it. That's why it didn't come through. Oh, there we go. And in the world of 8x8 as well, can I move that? Yeah. So I can use 8x8's inbuilt knowledge base as well. So our FAQ system there. So if I wanted to go away and put in some canned content, such as when it's my bin collection day, I can put that in as text, okay, and send that along. And now your citizen or customer can just click on that link and get to everything they need to know about bin collections in Lancashire. Okay. I'm going to end that conversation now. I go into wrap up and I'm ready to handle the next contact. So, folks, again, what I'll do is I'll just briefly pause there. Is there any questions on what I've just shown you in terms of a digital bot, a conversational based bot?
And everything you show, is this when you communicate via the text bot, is that done through one of the VCC channels? So is that our agents, they're either answering a call, they're managing an email in our case, or they're then looking at a bot, the text bot?
So the bot itself is running through ICA, through Intelligent Customer Assistant. Yeah. But when the agent handled that contact, that's essentially it transfers you to a chat queue within VCC or contact center, so that they handle it through a queue. So you can see here, this person's got loads and loads of in my little demo world. But down here, I have some chat queues where you can see all of the chat queues of this person. And so I've got ICA housing, ICA general, housing repairs, etc. So, and one of them obviously was bins. So again,
Darren,
you can.
Darren, you've got voice and email queues at the moment. So to be able to implement this, we would build you a chat queue. So when the AI agent hands the conversation over to the team member, it'll come through on a chat queue, which is within your license.
Okay, yeah.
Excellent. Any other questions around that? Yeah. So, I mean, the beauty is, and I think, Tom, you mentioned this before, is that, what would be, in what scenario would you want to put something like this in? I always say, and you're absolutely right, look at the high transaction volumes of calls, but look for ones that, you think are going to be kind of easy for a bot to do. So in that case, in local government, everyone gets thousands of calls around bins and bin collections. I've got 3 bins and God knows what colour it's going to be this week. So just to take that away from the agents within local government takes away a whole load of calls from them. It's a repeatable process, and that was just using conversational AI to guide the person through an easy step-by-step way of understanding where they go. So other examples outside of public sector could just be like, where's my order, for example. It could be open and close times of your different stores, potentially. It could be just simply do some ID and V so that your agents do that, don't have to go through that step. We've got one council, Oldham Council, where we're just using ICA as a call steering device. Tell me who or what department you want to talk to today, and that just takes a whole realm of calls away from people like their switchboard, their receptionists.
Yeah. So Darren, for yours, it might be local parking, travel by train, any restaurants nearby, show times, run times. Or any queries around access, the conversation could help with those. And Tom, I'm thinking that possibly for yourselves, it might be if somebody wanted to speak with a product specialist to book a time to be able to come and talk to them and actually experience one of the devices and see which one is a best fit. So I don't know whether you book appointments for that. Or even just getting an understanding of what the product is that they're interested in. You could use the AI tool for that. Yeah, before handing it over.
Ways in which we can reduce people waiting in the queue. So if they can go onto the live chat and book an appointment with a technical support specialist. But even the examples that we've spoken about, things like emails, order updates. Where's my order? And all that kind of stuff. That for me is probably principle.
Well, Tom, one of the examples that we've spoken about in previous webinars is holiday taxis. So they're an 8x8 customer, and people are able to reschedule their taxi appointments, where it's being picked up, where they're being dropped off, the time of the pickup and drop off. All of that is all through AI, and I think that they're sitting at around about 90% of their interactions are now managed using ICA, and they really weren't expecting it to be that effective. So it's a really good use case there. We've just got Daniel joining us.
So just as a question on that, then, if someone's going via, not actually reaching an agent, if only going through the bots, I assume that you can report on that in the same way that you can report on the queue. So you can create a wallboard, say this many people are currently conversing with the bot.
Yeah. So I was just hit the solution itself comes with what's called insights. Okay, so you can see, the number of sessions that have been today. You can see the interaction time. You can see the top intents in this case. So basically boiler, housing, etc. So you can get a whole load of stats behind this in terms of what's been happening and look at the containment rate. Containment rate is quite an important thing. So i.e. what has been totally handled within the bot without having to go to an agent. So yeah, and you can see the active sessions there and that kind of stuff. So yes, absolutely. You can get a whole load of stats on this. And another key component is that it's all API driven. So if you're using something like Power BI, then absolutely you could then import all those stats and put them into a Power BI report, and that could be updated. Yes.
But there's no way of pulling them through into like a standard call board that's offered in our bag.
So not within not right now. So one of the things that we've got, do you use supervisor workspace at the moment, Tom?
Yeah, we do.
So we're looking at building a third-party widget into supervisor workspace to show you that type of information. Absolutely, yeah. So that's roadmap.
Okay.
Hi, Daniel. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Hi there.
We were just walking through a scenario there with Steve where he was talking about bin collections for one of the councils that he's been working with. And he's just going to run through another couple of examples of how AI is being used to manage interactions. So if you've got any questions, as you can tell, this is a live scenario. Please do ask any questions, and more than happy to answer those for you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And any other questions before we move on to the next demo, folks? No. Okay. So the next one I'm going to do, so I've shown you how that works, how that conversational AI worked from a digital perspective, i.e. In that case, it was a bot, a web chat, as it were. I'm going to do speech recognition now. So hopefully my signal's going to hold up here in our office, because it's a bit like a Faraday cage in here sometimes. So I'm going to put the call through on my mobile phone. Obviously, I'll put it on speaker so you can hear what's happening. So in this case, I'm going to go through a scenario around a repair. Okay. So let me hit that button and put it on speaker.
What sector are you demoing for?
Housing.
Thank you for contacting the housing department. In a few words, please tell me why you are contacting us today.
I think my boiler is broken.
It looks like you require an emergency repair relating to your boiler. Is there any supporting information you'd like to provide us with before I book an engineer to come out and see you? Alternatively, say no if you don't want to provide extra information.
My radiators are leaking.
Please pick the best date for an engineer to come and fix your issue.
The day after tomorrow.
The next available time an engineer is available on Friday, the 17th of October 2025, is 2 p.m. Does this time work for you?
Yeah.
Thank you. Your repair has been booked for Friday, the 17th of October 2025 at 2 p.m. with the job reference of 31102. Would you like to receive a text message containing your repair booking information? Are you happy going through to one of our agents to have a quick video call to look at your ongoing issue?
Yes.
I now need to carry out some verification checks. Please provide me with your housing tenancy ID.
654321.
I heard you say 654321. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I can see your number is 4473598311167. Is this correct?
Yes.
Please provide me with your email address.
steve.edmonds@8x8.com.
I have found an account for Steve Edmonds. Now passing you through to an agent. Now forwarding you to...
Calls will come through. There we go. Okay. And again, housing emergency, and I'm in conversation essentially with myself. Okay. So again, in the same way as with the digital bot there, that's come through to the agents. I have got some information about that agent, sentiment score based on the conversation just had, other information that's useful to the agent. And now I can go through and handle that conversation. So just a few things around what the bot did there, obviously, is in the same way that as the previous bot I showed you, that was intent-driven, that was a conversational AI bot, and it guided me through the process there. I did get that SMS come through. I will try and show you that in a second. So that gave me the job reference number. But one of the things that we can do quite cleverly is it said, do we want to go into a video interaction? This isn't actually part of ICA. This is just kind of part of my contact center. So I can send this person an invite to go to a video call. So that's the message I'm going to send, and it's picked up my mobile phone number automatically. So I can send that across, okay? And hopefully I'll get that text come through. This is the test of the signal in the office.
I've been in your office before, Steve. I know exactly what you're talking about there.
Yeah. So what would happen now is I would get a text message to say to click on that link that I provided. And when I click on that link, the agent will be able to see or look at the camera on my phone. So this is great for doing things, especially in council, around remote fix, for example. So I could actually show the agent the boiler. They could maybe to say, okay, Steve, all you need to do is to press that button, it'll fix the boiler issue. Or I could then take a photograph of that boiler. So one of the icons down here is to take a snapshot of that, of the person's phone, so that I could then pass that on to the repairs team to show them that. So yeah, this text has not come through.
Steve, are you able to change the number you've sent that message to? You can send it to mine.
Let me try that. So what's your number?
7766 1133 23.
Sorry?
23.
33.
23 at the end. 23.
33. Sorry.
23. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, let me pop that across. Oh, I've hung up. Sorry, I hung myself. Apologies. Yeah, so I clicked the wrong button there. So another thing here as well is what you can see here gives you we've done an AI summary of that conversation. So it said it was talking about an AI bot with this customer. Bot can rate different issues. It can escalate to video if it needs. The agent provide guidance, take a photograph, etc. So again, that could then help. You could copy and paste that into another CRM. We're looking at doing this via API, so you can just take that summary and that would automatically get logged into a case in your CRMs, okay? And again, I'm going to say that was a gas issue and wrap up, okay? So all of that within one solution. So folks, any questions on what you just heard or saw?
No, I think the customer sentiment piece was quite interesting, that you could gauge that from the agentic AI. So you kind of know what you're walking into.
Absolutely. And also, I mean, my agent workspace there is actually running some beta solution. So in the same way as the agent in the bot in the digital bot would see the previous conversation, we could also pop the agent to say, it's a boiler repair, his radiator leaking, this was the job number and this date. So we can pass all that through to the agent as well when we get the conversation come through with voice. It's just in my environment, it's popping up all that kind of stuff on the left-hand side there, but the agent can also see what the conversations had before from the voice bot. Okay.
Tom, what are your thoughts with regards to the video link that Steve was demoing there? So the potential behind a link being sent through to one of your customers and then having them give a little guided tour of the mobility scooter itself to go, this is what I believe is the problem, before the vehicle or the mobility scooter got picked up or was sent in for repair, just to give them more awareness of what the situation might be.
So Steve might need to give me some commission because we already use video.
Oh, okay.
So we've been using it since last May, I want to say.
Okay.
We were quite early adopters of it. I think we adopted it when it was still in beta. And we currently use it with great success at the moment. I think last month we did over 250 video calls. And it works really well from a diagnosis perspective, because when we're talking particular elements of a mobility scooter or a riser, because of our demographic that we're dealing with, we can use more natural language to describe what it is we're trying to get them to do, which is easier when you're showing them on video than just over the phone. So yeah, it works really well. For sure, we're very happy with how that works at the moment.
Sorry, Tom, Karen.
It's obviously just one way, which is quite a nice thing from working from a contact center perspective. Is we don't have to worry about them seeing us at all. They concentrate on what they're doing.
Yeah. I think the other example that I had from that, I know we're going slightly off topic here, was using that video is in insurance. And if somebody's had an accident, they contact the insurance company straight away. They can take pictures of the scene. They can get an idea of what the weather was, whether it was dark, sunny, and it also geolocates where the accident took place. So really, really effective to be able to capture the information needed for that insurance claim. Steve, I'm going to hand back over to you again. Thank you.
Absolutely. So folks, just in the last example I'm going to show you now, this is more of an agentic bot, and I just wanted to give you a look and feel of that. So this is going to be, we've got a mock-up of like a pet store that I'm going to show you in a minute. And we're just going to go through this from a digital perspective, i.e. from a website perspective. So let me just go ahead and again share my screen. So here you can see Paws and Claws, which is our sort of demo mock-up for a pet store, okay? And here you can see we've got our chat button down here. I'm going to click on that. I obviously went through and tested this earlier on, so that it recognises me already. It just essentially it knows my IP address has not changed, so therefore it's maintained the conversation. So earlier on, I said, I've got a dog called Badger, and I've set a grooming appointment for Thursday, okay? But now it's saying, how may I assist you? So I'm just going to say, I want to change my appointments. Probably fixed the big typo there. Okay, so yeah, so saying, could you let me know the new date and time? Okay. So what I'm going to do is say, actually, English isn't my first language. Can we chat in French? I will consider this worked before.
You've got to do a French accent while you're typing there, Steve.
How does it deal with, spelling mistakes, that kind of thing? Is it make a good assumption?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so it can handle that. So let me. Okay, it's very busy this screen. So let me just put a few. I'll put a couple of spelling mistakes in there. Let's see how that copes with that. Yeah. So it's written out. Yeah, that's. So I'll put a couple of spelling mistakes in there. It's coped with that. Okay. Yeah.
So this is looking at the booking reservation system.
Yeah.
And availability there.
Yep, and there we go. I've actually got that SMS through, folks, to say that that's been booked. Okay. Cool. Let's see if I can do that French bit again, because it did, just to show you the adaptability of using an agentic. Right, to chat in French as my first language. Oh,
doesn't want to play.
Yeah, it doesn't want to play right now. Yeah, but yeah. So what you can see here that with the agentic AI, it's a lot less structured. It's obviously it's looking for keywords that I put in there, but they say it is coping with spelling mistakes. I don't have to really put in a lot of sort of keywords there. It's a lot more adaptable. And again, I can say, I want to speak to an agent, and that will then move me across. Yeah, so that would then go through exactly as it would do to the agent that I showed you earlier on, folks. Okay. So in terms of kind of like demo, that's what I had to show you today. But is there anything else that Mark, over to you? Any other questions, folks?
Sorry, I just had a question. When you said about it picked up your IP, so it knew who it was talking to.
Yeah.
I think that's really clever. If I'm honest, I really like that.
Yeah.
I assume that just requires them to be an existing contact card within 8x8, and it stores that information on the first transaction it has.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly right. Or you could again, you could just ask for some ID and V. So I mean, that probably maybe an order number or an account number, customer reference, something like that, and then it would pull back from there. Yeah.
Yeah, what I really like is when they initiate the conversation, it looks like we're already responding to them. So that's quite powerful. So yeah, no, brilliant. Thank you.
And in the other POVs that we've done, we've seen that by doing the validation, verification, and the data capture before handing over to an agent, you can look at something like 1 minute to 2 minutes in some instances where it's reducing that agent handling time, which can be a significant saving for the business. So there's definitely advantages to using the AI. One of Steve's colleagues, Richard, actually did a demonstration for another webinar that we were doing yesterday, and it absolutely blew me away because they were talking about a customer contacting an insurance company to say, I've had an accident, and it used the AI tool to gather the information. So it was guiding them and saying, oh, do you have a police reference? Yes. Uploaded the document. Do you have any pictures from the accidents itself? Yep, absolutely. Uploaded those pictures. And it took the make and model of the vehicle as well as the registration numbers and put those into the summary notes of the interaction. So it's just so clever and developing every day. And all of that information was then Go on, Steve.
Yeah, the worst version of AI is the version we're using today, because essentially it's improving every day. So it's always machine learning. It's always being adaptive, especially in the world of agentic AI. yeah, like I say, it's just like hiring. It is really like hiring and training a new agent from an agentic perspective. Yeah.
But that integration with CRMs and finance systems. So the other one that Richard mentioned was somebody contacting a mortgage company to say, I'd like to pay an extra amount this year. Please, can you tell me what's the maximum amount I can pay? It went into the CRM system, came back, confirmed what the outstanding amount was on the mortgage, confirmed it was a maximum of 10%, told them what the mathematical equation was and said, this is the maximum you can pay. And then it also links in with the PCI solution as well. So the person was able to just process, or the person would be able to process the payment in the AI interaction. So no need to be handed off to an agent. So there's that element too. Daniel, we've not heard anything from you today. Is this something that you're looking at for your business or potentially for customers?
I think probably, to be honest, like a lot of people, if I see something AI, it's for me, it's about saving time. It's about the agent side of things. And I guess we've got a couple of things in play at the moment. It's the integration with the CRM bit is probably the bit we've always struggled with. So I'm having we are a help desk, so we are using the ticketing system. How do I summarize and annotate that conversation and then create a ticket for a customer? So essentially, the goal, as probably most people on the call, is my advisors or my technicians can focus on the conversation with the customer and fixing the resolution. So I think for me it's just about exploring what's out there, getting a bit of a broader understanding of what AI is capable of as well.
Excellent. Something that you missed at the beginning of this call, but the recording is being done now, and we will share it with everyone who registered to attend today, is just where AI is being used. So as Steve's shown today, before the call is actually handed over to an agent, all of that information is captured, or even if it's self-service, the AI tool can do that. The assistance during a conversation. So we're working with another IT team, and they're looking for knowledge articles to be presented to their support team whilst they're in the middle of a call. So it might be, my laptop's doing this really strange thing. What do you recommend I do? And actually, there's a little screen pop that comes up on the right-hand side because the AI has been listening to the conversation and saying, well, if you asked them to do this or guided them along this route, it would rectify the situation. So really reducing that average handling time, but also instilling that confidence in the person who's ringing in for support. And then you've got your post-call analytics, sentiment side of it, how successfully, what was that person's knowledge like? Were they upbeat during the conversation? And so, there's so much information that can be pulled off post-call.
Fantastic.
Anything else?
We've got, probably might be worth taking this offline later on, but it's just we've got 8x8 and NSL up in a couple of weeks to talk about this in probably more detail for us. Is there anything we need to do to prepare? So maybe background data, will we be creating some kind of live scenario? We can talk about this later if you want, Mark.
So yes, I think Leicester's been in touch with yourself, Darren, and asked for some information to be shared. So it might be based around current shows, and as I say, local parking, local restaurants, run times,
I just
all
think,
of that.
Yeah, I think is there a chance you could send an example of what a template, if you like, what it should look like? Because our data is obviously it's here, there, and everywhere. It's in different formats. It's on either a spreadsheet, it's a Word document. It's all over the show. I think we need to get more of an exact document or background template.
Steve, what are the methods of pulling information into the AI tool? So where would 8x8 be able to delve into using API links or Word documents? Where would they access the information from?
Well, from all of those, Mark, is the honest answer. So, typically we're integrating into back-end systems to give us a lot of data. So as you saw there, things on like postcode lookups and other databases which hold information. And I think, if you've got, obviously we need to be able to access those, so they need to be sort of public facing, and be able to handle things like REST APIs, and in the techie world like JSON kind of scripts as well. But an agentic bot can also just read Word documents. And I think for the example of around that, Mark, that we did around information around theatres, that we did a demo for another customer for.
Yeah.
I think my colleague just essentially just scrapes everything off the website, put it into a Word document, and the agentic bot read that as its knowledge base.
Yep.
So if you've got distributed sort of knowledge, Dan, that includes those things on Word documents, then that we can use those as sources of knowledge for a bot.
Yeah. So at the moment we use internal. We'll use SharePoint, and our ticketing agents, they'll connect to this a document library within SharePoint, and then when someone's asking a particular question about a show, another theatre, because we look after other theatres as well, they'll just read that off. So at the moment it's in SharePoint. Is that an option that it'll?
I think it is. I need to go with, but I think we do have ICA can have an integration into SharePoint, I believe. But let me check that. All Mark's PS guys can check that. But I think we can. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We can take it offline, Darren. So I'll give you a ring after this.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I hope you found this useful, and we'll let you know about upcoming webinars. So we're still posting these on a monthly basis. But if you would like to see any previous webinars, they're on our website. So if you go to our website and click on the knowledge tab, then there's within the drop down, you can go through to previous webinars about other topics such as PCI, agent assist, speech analytics, quality management. So thank you everybody for attending today, and look forward to speaking with you again soon. Steve, you've been amazing as always. Thank you so much for your support on this.
You're welcome, folks.
Thanks very much, Rob.
Thank you.
Cheers all. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Cheers.